Okay, next up is a Diamond 5 Brig VOD from Almeri. I'm on another losing streak and I need help identifying what I'm doing wrong. These games are on my alt accounts. I'm mainly interested on my Brig gameplay. Cool, well then we'll just focus on that. We'll forget about the Mercy if that's cool with you. I feel like I get lost easily in team fights. Okay, that's probably a positioning thing, that maybe you position too far forward that you don't have good viewpoints on the fight. And sometimes I'm just not sure whom I should be throwing packs on. Alright, pack management, we can definitely take a look at that. This was actually a really close game, and I feel like I just flopped at the end. Cool. I'm curious as to what you said. This is on your alts. Let me know if you when you watch this, what your peak or what your main rank is on. I'd just be curious to see. But nonetheless, I do want to cover, and I watched through a bit of this ahead of time. The big thing I'm seeing is a lack of adaptation to your gameplay. What I mean by that is making an adjustment to what the enemy team composition is and what you're playing. Because what I see a lot is that, especially with this specific backline, whenever you get a Brig paired with an Ana or a Zen or something like that, they feel this need to be a bodyguard and tether themselves to this Ana. And I think you're guilty of this a little bit. And the only reason that you see that happen in pro play or higher level is because this is a backline built for a dive composition, specifically to go with Monkey. And apologies for my god awful handwriting, but usually if this is being played, it's being played because it's meta. And if it's a meta, then it'll likely be a mirror. And if the enemy team has a Monkey, then that poses a dive threat to the Ana. Hence, you need to be next to her to help her live through their engages. It's essentially just that he is a form of dive. And, oh god, whatever, dive. But you need to be able to live as a backline through their engage and then continue to support your team's own engage. Or your own team's engage, pardon me, to be able to find value, to be able to win team fights. So that's what it is. It also stems a little bit from you would spend a lot more time in Overwatch 1 playing for ultimates rather than just playing in the neutral. I think that's been an adaptation that has changed since the removal of shields, the removal of a sixth team member, a removal of other ability, like the removal of the sixth team member, specifically off tank, is the removal of bubbles and DMs and all those off tank abilities that were good at sort of shutting down neutral team fights and making it more about ultimates. And so it was really important that the Ana lived and built Nano quicker than the other Ana. And the way they build Nano is by pocketing their Monkey, and they can only do that if they're not dealing with threats. Hence, Brig was good at dealing with threats. So that's where it stems from, but it's a really bad habit to get into because Brig is much more versatile than just being a bodyguard to a hero. Although she's not much more versatile, sorry, in that she is a bodyguard just to spaces rather than heroes. Because sometimes there won't be anyone near you. You will just be playing your position because you have LOS of people. You're in range to proc Inspire for them, and you're denying key spaces on the map for enemies. But you are going to position a lot with your Ana in this VOD from what I saw. And we'll talk a lot about the defense because I think it's important. And there's a lot of compositional switch-ups that happen between your teams and theirs. And so you need to be able to adapt your gameplay to suit the situation. Now you're talking about pack management. 2 DPS, especially mobile ones, harder for Ana to hit, right? More difficult for her to hit. So that has a lot of value in being able to pack people. Pack is good at 2 things. It's range and it's tracking once you throw it. Because it's not a skill shot. Don't have to aim it. It's like Life Weaver Primary Fire. It will go to the target. You just need to click on them initially. And that is not a hit scan thing. That is a sensitivity thing. So Genji is a great target to be able to pack because he also plays in aggressive positions, right? Split from the team where you may not be able to proc Inspire on him, but if he's doing his job correctly, he can't be frontlining or can't be around your team, right? He should still be in an LOS of Ana, but regardless. Ana and your other support in general only need packs when they're in immediate danger, right? If they are ever just getting poked out by non-one-shot heroes like Hanzo Widow, if they're just getting poked out by soldiers, Cassidy's, maybe Sojourns to an extent, if they don't have a Mercy Pocket, Alari's, whatever it is, as long as it's not high burst damage, they're fine. They'll just chill. They will get their... You'll either heal them up from Inspire through Whip Shots, Shield Bash, Flail, or they will just get the support passive to trigger in 2 seconds, and they'll be sweet. So unless they're actively taking a close range duel, or you're versing one-shot heroes, like maybe more so like Hanzo, where it lowers the threshold for a body shot to kill her, she does not need a pack. And the last thing is that Xayah does need packs, but she doesn't really need packs until she gets around here, right? Because this shield health will regen itself. That's the value of shield health. And packs, you have to remember that pack is, I think it's 25 initial healing and then 100 healing over 2 seconds, which is 50 healing per second. That's a lot of healing in a short burst, right? And that's different to your Inspire, which is purely something like 10 or 15 healing per second, something like that, in quite a massive range. Like it's like a 20-meter range, over 5 seconds, I think Inspire goes for. I think it's 15 healing per second for 5 seconds. So nowhere near as much healing, burst healing as pack, but it is a steady amount. And Whip Shot actually has a 4-second cooldown. So theoretically, if you are hitting your Whip Shots within a second of it coming off cooldown consistently and you hit all of them, you will have 100% uptime of Rally without, of Inspire without ever having to get close enough to Flail or Shield Bash. That's the skill ceiling we're talking about here. You will have a Lucio-esque aura of 15 healing per second for the entire match if you hit 100% of your whip shots. Obviously, that is unrealistic. You just won't do that. But that's the ceiling that you can hit, is 100% of a 20-meter radius, which would hit pretty much everyone. Obviously, that's not 20 meters, but like 20 meters from here is that, and it is that. So that's just some stats, some things to remember. Now, Brig is really good at controlling spaces. That's what I was beginning off with. She's really good at controlling spaces, and controlling this area here is decent because you can drop to pressure someone trying to play through here. You deny flankers and off angles of enemy DPS coming through here, and you have LOS of people, right? It's a little bit dicey, and this is a long place, a long distance to cover without cover. But regardless, and it has good rotation options out the back. So not a bad position, right? But at the same time, if they aren't using this off angle, you are not providing anything. So you can be proactive and you can see if they push it. If they don't push this angle, if you see 4 or 5 people pushing through main, pressuring this high ground, then what's providing more value? Denying this angle that they may or may not use, or holding this angle because your teammates are here and allowing them to keep playing here, right? And these two positions are theoretical based on the enemy running a poke or a dive, right? Being able to quickly close this distance and being able to get onto the high ground. This one more for poke, off-angling DPS. This one more for dive. Dive heroes contesting this high ground, right? In our current matchup, we are essentially brawling, right? Xayah v Junker Queen. It could play as a dive. It could play as... not a dive, sorry. It could play more as a counter dive, but it's essentially a brawl v brawl, right? Xayah is a pretty unique hero, so it's hard to classify her as solely a brawl hero. She's really just not a poke hero. But regardless, it's essentially a brawl, right? What does that mean? It means she is not in danger, because even looking at the other things, Sojourn at best is the only one that's going to contest her. Junkrat really shouldn't. If she's letting a Junkrat get on top of her, she's a lost cause anyway. So she is fine. We'll give her a tick. She is safe. Junkrat v Junkrat, probably prone to happen. Quite an open map, not really a lot of chokes like Control Center and Lijiang or something like that where he's popular. So he might be in danger of getting poked out by Alari, by Lifeweaver, by Sojourn. So a bit in danger. Genji, like we talked about, he's safe, but he's a good target to help out because it saves your Ana having to do so. And then Ana should really be helping the Xayah for the most part. But here's the thing, is that because these DPS aren't positioning too much, or I don't think they position too much on off angles, we'll see. But because the Genji is highly mobile, he should be fine. The person who's going to need the most help in a brawl v brawl, especially against Lifeweaver, is going to mainly pocket this this Junker Queen. Alari is going to output a lot of damage onto whoever she sees, which a lot of the time will be Xayah. And Junkrat has a lot of burst potential to brawl with the Junker Queen as well, right? So she is in a bit of danger, so we'll give her a bit of an X, right? But what that means is, if you're thinking about leveraging who to dedicate packs to and who to help support space, you can make the argument that you either need to support this Junkrat to take off angles and to find a good angle to pressure from by holding the space with him and to stop other people aggressing onto him, and then keep packs up for this guy and her when she falls below her shield threshold. Or you frontline Brig and you hold space with Xayah and you keep your packs purely for the DPS. And you keep one off cooldown in case you need to use it for an Ana if she gets pressured. But for the most part, you're holding space, because if you're holding space with them and they get pressured, you are going to get shield bash, you're going to get flail. You're not going to have to hit these whip shots to proc inspire. And you can still pack them. I'm not saying never pack the tank if you sit with a tank. But my point is that they will get support by being around you, and you will force 2v1s a lot of the time, or 2v2s, and allow them to hold the space and just outskill their jeweler by holding the space with them. Because you'll do the damage as well, right? And so that's how you exert pressure and relieve it. I'm going to stop talking because I've just had a look at the time and I've realized how long I've been talking for. But that's sort of the macro that I'm seeing here. And what I want to get at in this VOD is that you need to, a lot of the time, understand how to adapt your gameplay. Because right now you can see you're sitting with the Ana, and what a power position may be is sitting on this corner with your Xayah, or sitting back here with your Junkrat, right? And being able to support them. Or playing more aggressively and helping your Junkrat actually hold this corner. Instead of playing in this middle ground, because you can see you're looking for your Ana, which is good. Don't get me wrong, if they were playing dive, this would be the right call, right? But as it stands, this space that you're holding isn't providing a whole lot. Now, the Sojourn is going to come do an off angle, but you're in no position to go and aggress and deny that because there's a Junker Queen right here, right? So you need to make sure that, and you know, maybe you just hit the whip shot there. That's all you can VOD for that. As it stands, you don't hit it. You turn around, your Ana's not even here anymore. But she is still. But your Xayah is the one. Like, we're happy to give up this space to the Sojourn, because right now we need to be supporting her. And she shouldn't be just out in the open like this, obviously. Goes without saying, you can't rely on your teammates to play perfectly. But if we were sitting like on this corner, if we're playing this corner, even playing this corner, right, you're still denying this little angle while still playing this main lane. You're going to be able to deny a lot of space. Even just your presence is going to make them second guess, should I actually go in right now? Is it safe to do so? Am I going to just get forced out? And I think the packs are a little off the mark. Where do we distribute them? We have 3. We packed the Genji once, it's fine. But again, fine to pack him. I'm not going to say it's wrong because he's half. But he's also pretty safe right now, right? He can wait for the Ana healing. Or you can go proc Inspire and probably just tick that up. He's in no immediate danger that he needs the quick burst of healing that a pack provides. Another one to the Genji. He's really not deserving it there, so that's a bad pack, right? He's not low enough. It doesn't overheal. And he's not in super threat. If he had a knife in him, sure, but as it stands, he's pretty safe. Zarya's going in, so I don't mind that pack. She's close to a shield threshold anyway. But you probably couldn't throw that because you messed up this one, right? So you need to react to your own gameplay as well and recognize, I would like to pack her right now as she's going in, but I just wasted one and I can't hurt my pack economy anymore. So maybe I need to go and look for a flail. A whip shot right now. No, he deserves one, that's fine. Did we lose one? I swear we had one and we gave her another one, and she really doesn't need it right now because she's an LOS of the Ana and she's really only dueling a Junker Queen and she has bubble. So another bad pack. Get the Junker Queen. Get the Genji because he's half. I say Junker Queen, I meant Junkrat. Again, she's really safe and she's in LOS of her Ana. Didn't need that. So you just need to recognize and probably slow down with them. Because you need to remember how high burst of healing it is. And although it's not good to double pack, you can do it. 125 HP on any target without counting your whip shots if you're hitting them and they're in range. It's a lot of healing. Let's say if you stack an Inspire with a armor pack, that's 25 initial, 100 over 2 seconds, while doing 15 over 5 seconds, which is 75 HP. That's 200 HP off one pack and one whip shot. That's a lot, right? So you need to recognize, do they need it? Are they in danger? Can my other support heal them up? And a lot of the time, if you're on one pack, this is in case of something unpredictable. Like you need to keep one pack ready, or like you only throw this out when you're about to get one again. Based off if Sojourn were to just like pull off some crazy play where she jumped over to this high ground with a charge shot and body shot one of these DPS. That's like a oh shit moment, I need to pack this guy. Compared to these other packs which are keeping them topped up as they're poking in this pre-fight. Because no one's really committed in. Once they shout, now they've committed in, and we have no packs. Or we have one pack, which we don't use on the Zarya right now. And that was probably a moment where she should have got a pack. But I'll skip ahead, just so we keep moving forward. And now they've swapped to Monkey, okay? Orisa, more survivability than Zarya. Probably don't need to babysit her as much, right? But maybe whip-shotting her if, not even. She doesn't need people to be whip-shot off her because she can survive. So she's fine, right? She's a lot safer. But they've swapped to Monkey, right? So now Ana is in danger. So now we're playing more resources to Ana and making sure she's kept up. Apologies for that background noise going on, bit of construction. And they have a Kiriko as well, so a little bit more headshot threat. Or one-shot threat, I should say. But again, this Ana's playing really far back. She's quite safe. Can we position on this high ground and protect our DPS and help our DPS hold this? Can our Ana live through a monkey engage? Can we still whip shot the monkey from this high ground? Yeah, probably. Maybe not in... Maybe we favor more the right side so that when we whip shot, he goes that way into the wall rather than deeper onto the Ana. But we can still position here. And if we position here, she may just decide, oh, okay, I don't want to play here. I might play here. You know, you just have to weigh up in your head what is more valuable, what is providing more value to my team in this moment. And I would say holding this high ground to give your Junkrat a unique angle to spam from and giving your Genji a support on this high ground to kite to, / being able to engage on their backline from this off angle because card is reached here at this point. You know, you can make an argument for either or. I'm not saying what you're doing right now is wrong, but right now we're giving up a lot of map control. Orissa's off doing her own thing and feeding, you know, you can't help that. But we need to make sure we're always thinking about what value are we providing to the team. Because the Ana just drops off the high ground. That was one dive. It didn't even matter that you were with her. She's already gone, just off the monkey diving her. But now we have no space because we're not holding this high ground with our DPS. And then they get picks, and then we just need to die. I'll just skim a little bit ahead. This was good. Clear out our high ground. Keep packing the DPS. Now can we be positioned over on this high ground to deny their DPS pushing this off angle? And taking this space for free? Potentially. So John's over there. We try and contest where did our packs go? Hit 3 packs. 1 to the Genji. 2 to the Genji. 1 to the Ana. Okay, so probably 1 to the Genji. And then you have 1 for the Ana and you're still on 1. And now you'd have 2 by now. Get back the Junkrat when he's full. Yeah, he's really healthy. Like, he's fine. You need to hit a whip shot right now and he'll be topped up and you'll knock this Slayer off high ground. Because now he needs one. But you've also got to help your Ana because she's in more danger, right? So that was good recognition of who's actually in danger right now. Who needs the resources more. Because the Junkrat's lower, yeah, but Ana needs to get out because she's in danger of taking more damage. So that was better decision making in that moment. Nice whip shot. Maybe a little bit of recognizing that no matter what you do, she is probably dead. As a baby diva staring down the barrel of a high charge Xayah and a Sojourn, she is probably not surviving here. So I don't know if I would invest a pack into this. It's like 1 right click and she's half health. If the Xayah was lower charge, maybe, but yeah. Apologies for that interruption. But yeah, I think at some point you just got to recognize that it's probably a lost cause. But now we're going to enter in, and I suppose I didn't really talk about it before, but they swapped off Monkey again, and onto Xayah, and now we're on a Reinhardt, and I think they're going to swap to Reinhardt, so I might swap to that moment. Doing well so far at like controlling space and making sure people are topped up. Okay, and now they've swapped on to Reinhardt. You need to be able to recognize that right now in this matchup, Ana is going to be safe where she is, right? So we don't need to babysit her. What we can do is support this Sojourn on off angles to help Jula with the Pharah, or we can frontline. Not, and I don't mean frontline in you should not still be in range of Ryan being able to hit you, but we can be in a range where we're constantly supporting the Ryans when they're trading swings to be able to proc Inspire, / Shield Bash and Whip Shot and all that other stuff, and keep Inspire pretty much at 100% uptime while they're dueling, while they're actively swinging on each other. And Urana is off DPSing, which is unfortunate. But you can see how much space, like what space are we controlling in this moment that is enabling our team or contributing to our team's success? Not a lot, right? So if we can push up onto this high ground, it might encourage our Junkrat to do the same. Or if we can position on this Ana, it might allow her to look for some offensive pressure now that she can, because she doesn't have to heal up the Ryan. But sometimes I know it's like tough to not play reactive and see like, oh, the Junkrat's up there, I'll go help him. Sometimes it's about proactively doing it to, if nothing else, deny that space for the enemy, like denying this high ground or this high ground or whatever for their Sojourn right now would be pretty good. And not only that, it may encourage your DPS to play in these better positions. And so, you know, you've only got what you've got to work with, but you can try and get the best out of them by encouraging them to go play in these positions. I know I did a lot of talking at the start, so apologies for that, but I think it was all still educational and still talking about the main issue here, which I think was making adjustments to your gameplay, because it was sort of a red flag to me that off the start, straight away we were positioning with the Ana and anchoring on the Ana when they had no dive threats to her. They barely even had a poke threat to her because they were playing like Junkrat and stuff. And then you swap to Mercy, and like I said, I could go over the Mercy, but I think it's overloading and it's giving you too many different things to think about. So if you want a Mercy VOD soon, more than welcome to post another one, or even use the same one if it's still good if you want me to go over the Mercy. I think you only play it for a little bit of this last 3rd point defense, and then you swap back to Brig anyway. So, but yeah, I hope this all made sense. I hope there is still enough for you to take away. Like we talked about pack management, and we don't even really, like, I know I talked for a fair bit, but we don't really need to see the gameplay to understand what it should look like. And then it didn't look like that when we did take a look. You could see you were overpacking some high HP targets, packing people when they weren't in immediate danger, and then it was just those two things were damaging your economy to where you didn't have them when you needed them. So again, hope this all made sense. Let me know if anything didn't, and let me know again what your main rank was in the chat. I'd be interested to know. But yeah, all the best with the games.